Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Devil's Advocate Trades Edition, but our first segment for Hard Hats and Hard Truth. So, yes. So as I was saying in my podcast yesterday, so I put out a question. So hang on here. It's going to go into it, and then it's loud. I got to turn the shit down. All right. So I posted something on on TikTok, because I was interested to see what would come back from it, what would generate from it. So it said, what are the main women's concerns in construction? Okay. I got a lot of feedback. I'm not even going to lie to you. It was actually quite interesting. So we're going to go through it and we're going to talk about it. So one of the common themes for women was bathrooms. Women are like, listen, have you been in a porta potty? Have you been in a porta potty where it's designed for like nobody but men? And I'm one or two of us are amongst 10 to 15 to 30 men, because the bathrooms are garbage. And I'm not going to lie, like, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Not that I want to be like, oh, you guys are all gross, because there's a lot of really clean guys that probably go in there and think like, thank God I have a penis because I don't have to sit. And then there's probably a lot, and I also know working on site, a lot of guys will go to the gas stations as well because they're like, this is fucking disgusting. So for the guys that are kind of disgusting, could you not be, please? Please? So what I found is that a lot more companies are designating a female bathroom. So the porta potty has a lock, and only the females have the code to the lock. And that's something that I think more companies should do, especially on bigger sites where there's a few porta potties. When there's only one, it is what it is. But if you've got a few porta potties on site, even two, you should designate one for your female staff. And people will say, oh, that's stupid, that's blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, we have to sit. Okay, we don't have a choice. It doesn't matter if we're going number one, number two, we're sitting. And if we're not sitting, we're squatting. We don't feel like doing squats that day. I don't need any more. I'm already running. I'm already doing like 20 to 30,000 steps a day on my job site. I don't need to be doing squats. All right. While I pee, like that's my moment. Like everybody gets their moment of like peace for a couple minutes while they go to the bathroom. It's like a mini break. So I think what guys need to understand is that this is where it turns into it. We don't have a penis, so we don't stand. So if you're going to shoot and decide to have, I don't know, a fucking seizure while you're holding your wiener all over the fucking place, or you're going to shit on the seat, or you're going to leave it a mess, then yeah, women deserve, not should, maybe deserve to have a bathroom facility that they can go to the bathroom in. And I know there's guys out there that are clean freaks that are like, yeah, these guys are fucking pigs. I don't even want to go. I remember, so when I was on site, I had a bathroom. So there was 3 women on site, including me, and we had our own bathroom. We had a code to the lock for the bathroom. There were 3 porta potties on site. And there was 3 guys that were like, oh my God, I can't handle this. And 2 of them would always go to a gas station, and 1 I gave the code to because he always cleaned it up. Like he was never disrespectful or rude. And some people would be like, well, that's not fair. And it's like, well, it is, because he's on site. He's one of the leads, and he's a clean freak. And he's like, I don't have time to run to the store and go to the bathroom. Can I please have the code? And the first little while I would just open it for him. And then eventually I just got tired because I was on one side as the construction consultant and he was on the other side as the foreman. So I was like, just here's a code. I'm like, if I see a drop of pee in around where it couldn't be a female, because let's be honest, ladies, when we stand up, we can still drop pee on the seat. If it's in and around anywhere that it wouldn't come from a woman, you and I are going to have words, and I'm going to change the code to the bathroom. But that's one of the big things. So it's perspective, right? Because guys will be like, women are getting favoritism, but it's not favoritism. We're just built different. You always want to talk about how we're built different. So let's talk about it. We're built different. We have to sit when we pee. Instead of fighting it, just accept the fact that we're both built different. You're someone who's built for endurance. We're people who are built for other aspects, right? We can do endurance, but not at the same capacity as a male. That's physiology. So when I sit there and I look at it, I'm like, we need to stop shitting all over the differences that we come to site with, whether it's a female carpenter, a male carpenter, whether it's a female operator, heavy machinery operator, or a male, we're still built different. There's a good chance. And here's the thing. I've seen women jump out of a machine and haul around 50 to 75 pounds like it's nothing. And then I've watched a really overweight dude jump out of a machine and almost have a fucking heart attack doing it. So let's not shit all over women. because I've seen it on both sides. And we can't shit all over men. But so that was one of the common themes. So we're start there. Okay. Next, we went into, let's see here. We got some shitty comments, but we're gonna unpack them from the guys. And this is where I say this is where it gets dangerous, because men seem to, and not all, and I mean, not all men, and it's not an inaccurate statement. Not all guys feel this way. It comes down to people and experiences and opinions and upbringing and situation, right? There's a lot of factors to consider. So before we start pissing all over everybody, then we need to just pay attention to what they are, right? So another one says, let's see, workplace violence. R.I.P. Audi Hicks. She was killed on the job site on Valentine's Day. Okay. So I went up and read up on Audi Hicks. You know what? Honestly, I didn't know about Audi Hicks. I knew about quite a few, but I didn't know about her specifically. So I went in and I did some investigation. And I was like, oh, this is awful. So then another person came in and on the comments, and they said that it happens to men too. So I was like, okay. So in fairness, it's safe to say that workplace safety and violence occurs regardless of sex. That's a fair statement. So when we're talking about that, I sit there and I say to myself, if it's not just women and it's not just men are getting killed on site. Now let's be realistic. Men, this is where I lose some of you, but we're going to be, like I said, hard hats, hard truth. So here's some hard truth. Men are incredibly emotional creatures. Okay. They say women are, it's not. Women are actually a lot more logical, because instead of a woman, and I'm not saying all women, and I'm not saying all men, I'm saying men tend to have a higher emotional insecurity. So how does that look to us? That looks like, you're a fucking asshole. I'm going to smash your face in. Fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a piece of shit. That's what that looks like. Okay. So when guys are like, no, that's tough talk. No, it's not. It's an insecure person who's saying, I don't like how you're making me feel. So I'm going to assert my dominance to let you know that, I'm on your ass. That's basically what that is. So when people sit there and go, oh, most women are so emotional, and, you're on your period. And it's like, yeah, we bleed for 5 days. If you're bleeding out of your dick, you should probably go get that checked, just letting you know. But we, on the other hand, are designed to handle that. You aren't, we are. So, because I did have a comment about that, like, oh, well, I wish we could take a week off. And not all women need to take a week off. But guess what? If they spent the same amount of time going through women's health, and extrapolating all of the problems with our reproductive organs at the same capacity they do for men, we probably would be a lot further along and probably wouldn't have to take a week off, because we wouldn't have cramps that cripple us over, or we wouldn't have endometriosis that cause, shooting pains inside of our, vaginal canals that feel like someone's stabbing us with a knife. And you guys are pretty like, that's too much information, Lisa. It is, but you want the facts? Let's talk about the facts. If you felt like someone was sticking a lead pipe through your pee hole, would you be like, I can still work, this is good? No, you're going to be bent over and you're going to be like, this is horrible. So you want to go on to the topic. Let's get on the topic. Let's get dirty with it. Let's talk about it. Let's be straight. If you think you can work in excruciating pain that you didn't ask for, but comes every month, not once a year, not once in a while, every month, you're going to make arrangements, which means that most women that have those types of cramps probably going to perfect their craft, which means that their output is far more productive than their counterpart. Why? Because they know they're down for a week. So that's something to pay attention to. So if you've got a girl who's running circles around you for a couple of weeks, probably because she knows she's going to be down for a few days or for a week because she's crippled over with pain and she's not having any fun. She's not sitting on the couch watching Netflix and having a good day. That's not where she's at. I'll tell you exactly where she's at. She's probably in her room. All the blinds are drawn. She's got, I don't know how much Advil pumping through her system and probably sitting, watching TV with a heat pack, wanting to die a little bit. Okay. That's probably what's going down, or sleeping because she's on so many meds that she just needs something to try and sleep because of when they come. So that's the reality. So when we're talking about the differences between the sexes, we need to extrapolate why, create the idea that physiology is a huge factor, and then stop shitting on people for their physiology. That's the big thing. You need to empower the people in the trades. If you're feeling like an insecure male or an insecure female, You need to address that within yourself. Don't put your bullshit on everybody else. Don't put it on the other males. Don't put it on the females. Don't put it on anybody. It's not fair. If you grew up in a house where, you watched people disrespect the females in your life, they weren't a good example, because females are what make a house a home, are the ones that want to be nurturing. Not all. We're not grouping everybody into there. I met some pretty crazy bitches, but most females, even if they don't have children and they've chosen not to have children, they're some of the most loving and nurturing people. They've got dogs, they've got cats, they've got whatever. So this is where it comes down to an idea where people have to stop shitting on each other because of their differences and embrace their differences. So if a woman runs circles around you, there's probably a good chance that she's got really bad period cramps, or because she's just perfected her craft and that's what she wants to do. And she wants to be your friend. She doesn't want to be an option. She doesn't want to date you. She doesn't want to cause conflict with you. She doesn't want you to kill her. She wants you to respect what she's doing, what she brings to the table, and show you that she's as good as you, if not better. And instead of celebrating her, you guys shit all over her. So stop shitting on her. Embrace the fact that she's good. You know what I tell my son? I tell my son this all the time. He's in football. I say, you know what? Find the guy that's better than you and go work with him. You know why? Because there's always going to be someone better than you, which means there's going to be someone better than him. But if you can get to his level or close, and he's one of the better guys on the team, then you've just put yourself in a new realm. You've pushed yourself harder because that guy's better than you right now. And there's a chance that you could match him, surpass him, or get close, which means that you are bettering yourself. But there's always going to be somebody better than you. And it shouldn't matter if they have chesticles or testicles. It just shouldn't matter. So we have a lot of very sensitive Sallies running around in the trades. And I say that loosely for both men and women. Okay. So, but that's where I say, don't be upset about being a sensitive. There's things I get sensitive about. I get in my feelings about shit. A guy comes on site and he's like, oh, the men are talking. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't see any men around here, dickhead, but that's what goes through my brain. I get really pissy, or they're like, oh yeah, we're not talking to you. And I'm like, oh, but you fucking are, because I'm running the site right now. So you are talking to me, so I don't like being dismissed, and I'll get mouthy with it. But as time has passed, I've learned I don't want to get mouthy with it. Why? Because then I'm just another emotional female to them. So then I'm just go, oh, well, I'm going to need an update on that when you have a chance, please, because as someone who is running the site, I'm going to need to know what your plan is so that we can move forward accordingly and that there's no hiccups, bumps, or backlogs. Okay? I don't need any bottlenecking amongst trades. And they're like, whoa, okay. And then they're pretty good. But I also respect my counterparts around me, whether they're male or female. A woman has something to teach me just as much as a male does. I've learned more from a female carpenter than I have from a male carpenter. I have learned more from a female plumber than I have from a male plumber. Why? Because everybody likes to teach their craft. They're excited about it. It's what they do. They went to school for it. If you're interested, they want to talk about it. That's just who they are. And I say, embrace that. We as a new generation that is emerging into this new era, so whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, we have to be better. We have to be better. We didn't like it when our bosses that are in the boomer and the old household were screaming at us and telling us we were stupid and kicking us around. People like, oh, it builds character. No, it doesn't. It builds fucking trauma. It builds fucking trauma. Fucking quit your shit. I don't need someone telling me that I'm a piece of shit, or I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, or I'm stupid, or why are you doing that? I remember when I was a little kid, okay? And I just wanted to have a conversation with my grandpa, and I didn't know how to have it. And I was like, hey, grandpa, what are you doing? I was like a little fucking kid. And he's like, what does it look like I'm doing, you dummy ass? And I was like, wow, this is my grandpa. My mom's going to be like, Lisa, your grandpa is not a very patient man. And I'll be like, yeah, he's a dick. Like, who says that to a little kid who's just trying to gain some perspective and develop some sort of a relationship with a male? But that's the generation we had to deal with. The ones that called us idiots, morons, dummy asses, fucking twerps, pull your head out of your ass. I don't want to be in that anymore. I don't want to be in that anymore. I don't think many of us want to be in that anymore. We're used to it. And, chaos is comfort, right? But we don't want to be in that anymore. We want to be better. We don't want to be better. So when a female comes on the site and because let's be realistic, in every trade across the board, there are males and females that pad their resume. There are males that cause drama. There are females that cause drama. This is not a battle of the sexes thing. This is a people thing. So this is where everyone's got to get out of their fucking way, get out of their head, and remember that this is a people thing. I have met more men that gossip and pull bullshit and drama on a site than I have a female. Meanwhile, I've got my female up, and she's doing interior carpentry, okay, and she's got detail work, okay. She's a finisher, and precise lines, just fucking phenomenal. She's up there minding her business, doing her thing, and buddy's downstairs, John, about what fucking politics, his wife, another guy on site, another trade on site, just fucking John. And I'm like, you know, if you spend as much time stirring up shit as you did working, I don't think we'd have a problem here, but we seem to have a problem on the daily. So this is not a sex thing, it's a people thing. How many people have gone to site and deal with a guy that's like, all he does is fucking whine? Like he vents it's a fucking rant every day. How many people go to site and every day a female is crying about something? How many times do people go to site and there's a new fucking excuse? Like we have all these fun names, right? For people who, when they want to come to work, like all these little, they're like little fun names. Like I think there was one where it was like, what is it? Sorry, my brain stopped. There was one where they said like, they call a guy, I think they called him foreskin, and it's because he only comes out when the boss is around, something like that, because he's always hiding, he's always doing something. But we have all these little fun names for different people, but they're for people, and people are like, oh, well, that's trades, or that's just for guys, or that's just for, and it's like, no, it is for an industry that has recognized different types of personality styles that come to site, people who don't show up, who go hide, who milk the job, who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Meanwhile, to somebody, they've watched one fucking YouTube video and they think they know how to plumb a whole house. Yet, you know, they're in their first year of apprentice, or they've been doing plumbing, you know, beside their dad their whole life, and they know exactly what they're doing. But oh no, they don't. You know, excuse me. But there are guys and women, because I've met women who have worked side by side with their parents in trades and have learned everything, because most parents will start you at the bottom. They don't start you at the top. Nowadays, you know, we fucked up a little bit with our kids. We're like, oh, you can do it. You're a special person. You're a little snowflake. No, I personally don't do that. I'm like, listen, snowflake gonna melt if you don't watch it. Okay. You know how fast a snowflake melts when it lands on you? Like now. That's where you, like, you might be my special little snowflake, but out in the big world, you're not a special snowflake. You are one cog that can either move forward how you see fit, or be a worker bee. It's up to you how you want to do that. I love you regardless, but figure out what you want to do and move with it. So when we're talking about this, it's a people problem. So that's where we need to stop attacking women. So, you know, I sit here and I'm reading these comments and I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. So what else we got? We got, try to compete with an imaginary man. That's a fun one for me. And then there was one, hang on, where is it? I can't work safely any higher than 6 inches off the ground. Like, come on, guys. I know, listen, being afraid of heights is a thing for anybody. My other half decided one day when we were on site, he decided to lift a boom arm to 63 feet. Okay. 63 feet? Something like that. Something ridiculous. Anyways. Yeah. So we were up. I think it was more than that. Anyway, we're fucking high. I think, was it an 80? It was a 64. Anyways, I was on an aerial lift and we were way up, and he thought it would be funny to scare me. Joke's on him. I'm not scared of heights. So I'm like, and he's like, oh, I thought this would scare you. And I'm like, and you thought that was funny? That you would take me up 64 friggin' feet or stories or whatever the fuck it is and think that I was going to get scared? Like, I'm not scared. You need to put this down. Stop playing around. Stop being a jackass, because that's not nice. Because if I was scared of heights, that's when accidents happen. You don't do that to people. I have met people who are roofers who are scared of heights. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, well, you know, it's a good job and I like roofing, and my cousin did roofing and my dad did roofing and my brother did roofing. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You are scared of heights. You are legitimately scared of heights. Why are you on a roof? Like, You can't do your job properly and be scared at the same time. Your anxiety and your cortisol levels are fucking they're off the chart. That's not even fair to yourself. So when you make stupid ass comments like, oh yeah, we're getting more 6 inches, I know you're trying to be funny and you're not funny, because being scared of heights is a legitimate fear. You're saying it as like women. I know a ton of women that go skydiving. I know women that are scaling roofs, that are high rises, got no problem. So this, again, not a women thing, it's a people thing. There are women that are scared of heights. There are men that are scared of heights. There are trans that are scared of heights. There are bisexuals that are scared of heights. There are homosexuals that are scared of heights. There are heterosexuals that are scared of heights. It don't fucking matter. People, okay? People are scared of heights. It happens. So, and if you're talking about the OH&S book, because that's funny, because I'm in Canada, so you guys have OSHA. We have OH&S in Canada, and the States has OSHA. And that's where it's a thing for, I think they have it at like 3 feet. It's retarded. 3.4, I don't know. I'll get pi. It's like 3 feet in the blue book. And I'm like, what? You got to tie off? Like, who's tying off at 3 feet? That's not even safe at that point. Like, you're going to get more injuries hanging than you was. But I mean, if you fall off a ladder, even at 2 feet, and you hit your head wrong, you could die. And it sounds crazy, but I mean, like, someone who's got a safety designation, does it make sense to me? No. Do I laugh about it? Sure. But it doesn't make sense when I'm sitting there and I have to regurgitate it. It makes sense to me as a safety professional that it all depends on how you land. You can break your ankle, you can sprain your ankle, you can break your arm, you can hit your head. You can do a lot of damage at any real height. I mean, how many of us have tripped up on our own feet and did some damage? Like, we don't even need to be at height, putsy as fuck. So that's where I say that. Let's see. There was some nice comments. One of the women says she doesn't have any problem. And she's a glazer. And let's see. Produce the volume and quality of work, and you will be compensated accordingly. Construction is extremely performance and outcome driven industry. Well, I would love to say you're right. For the most part, for those people who are, and because I'm like, here's what I'm going to tell you. This isn't just for women. This is for men too. I know we would talk mostly about men and women, but I love all the comments that are coming in. So we might just convolute it and attach both, because at the end of the day, this isn't a woman problem. This is a people problem. And people have these thoughts because it's both men and women that will go after a woman. It's both men and women that will go after a man. It doesn't matter. It all matters on who's your little tribe, who's your little enabling fucking assholes behind you that are like, oh yeah, she's the problem, or oh yeah, he's the problem. No, it's a fucking people problem. Okay. So that's where I'm like, trades is no different. Women bring value to trades. Men bring value to trades. Okay. If you didn't want women working and you didn't want women in the trades, then you shouldn't have started shit and went off to war. So go talk to the men that were in power that had a moment and decided they were going to start causing problems. Okay. Couldn't get along. Couldn't play nice in the sandbox. Instead of two presidents just having a little fist fight in the front yard and walking away, he sent a bunch of people off to war, which means women had to run in the factory. So be upset about that. Okay. And I'm not saying that's a man's fault, but I am saying it. I'm saying a little bit. I mean, we've had men running countries. Have you noticed that women that run countries, there's not as many problems? Like, problems still exist. Like, the issues don't ever really go away, but the overall administration kind of changes, except for Danielle. I don't know what the fuck happened to her. So don't listen to me when it comes to Alberta. I'm talking about countries, not provinces, okay? But I find that there are some, and there's even some people in the States that I really like that are in Congress, super fucking powerful women that are just like fucking powerhouses, man, trailblazers. And I think they're great. And these are the women that need to be revered. This is what you need to look. Gentlemen, when you are looking at a woman who is on site and is keeping up with you or running circles around you or wants to learn and is on your hip and listening, don't be a dick. And same with women. If you got a junior male or a junior female, don't be a dick. Here's your opportunity to pass on what you know, tricks you've learned. And don't be like, I'm not sharing that shit. This is why I do well. Yeah, but you might do well and it might work for you. It might not work for them. But hey, if it's something that can speed up the work and everybody gets to go home early, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to pass on that knowledge? There are things that my grandparents did, that my father did, that, that my generation doesn't do. Why? Because it was not the way to do it Like, it's not the way to do it now. Like, it took longer. It's like, Jesus Christ. But then there are some people that continue to do those things because it's tried and true and it works well. So again, when I sit here and I talk about these different things that come in and how I'm looking at it, I'm getting responses from both male and female. And females are coming back and saying, bathrooms are a problem. Workplace violence is a problem. And males are coming back saying, females are getting preferential treatment. This is bullshit. Just do your job. Males have to deal with workplace violence. All valid. But what I'm saying to you is where it comes from is I'm not going to sit here and shit on a male when he makes a period comment. I'm going to educate him. And that's why I got real descriptive. I'm going to educate him. Okay? Because I don't think you guys understand. You guys can say, I don't care, but you should. You have a mother. You might not have a sister. You might not have aunties. You might not have anybody else female in your life, but you got a mama. Okay? You had to come from somewhere. Daddy didn't pee out his pee hole. Okay? You came from a mama. And if you love your mom and she was a good mom and she's still a good mom, then you need to think about that when you're working alongside a female. Now, if you had a shitty mom and she was horrible and you got mommy issues, because apparently a lot of us do that are in our 40s and 50s and even 30s. There's a lot of mommy issues going on. 20s maybe. All of us have some sort of mommy issue. Then you know what? Then don't group them in. Here's the thing. We are all human and we have triggers. And somebody will say something, do something, respond a certain way or act a certain way that triggers that little PTSD that we didn't realize we had. And we're like, oh fuck, she's just like all the other ones. That reminds me. Or it's like a instant, like, I hate her or I hate him, because it's a little thing, but that's your shit. That's your shit that somebody did to you and they did something similar. Not identical, not maybe towards you, but just something similar that triggered the fuck out of you. Triggers are your body and your mental state trying to tell you something, that there is hidden shit that you need to figure out and work through. Because all you're doing is winding yourself up. Why are you letting yourself, whether you're male or female, get emotional about somebody? You're in control of your shit. So I'm not going to lie. I still do it. I mean, I should practice what I preach every day. Most of the time I'm pretty tame, but I will get hot-headed about things because I'm passionate and I'm like, this is bullshit. Like this, for example, I'm passionate about this. This is bullshit. Like, we all need to just fucking get along and like each other. Oh, sing kumbaya. No. I think we need to respect each other for the differences that we bring to sight. You don't have to like everybody. You don't. But keep your fucking hands to yourself. We learned that in kindergarten. As a matter of fact, I think I was teaching my kids that at 2. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't get in people's bubbles. Make sure you let someone know you're behind them. Make sure you let someone know that you're close to them, because you have no choice. Because sometimes when we're in trades, we have to work pretty much on top of each other. That shit does happen sometimes when you have a partner with you. And if you don't like somebody and it's causing mental and physical anguish, go talk to them and just ask to be traded. Go. I would rather an employee come to me and say, I don't want to work on this side because, I have my own reasons. I'd really appreciate it if I can just move over here. Yeah, okay. Either way, the work's got to get done. I'll trade people. I don't need to know the fucking ins and outs. I don't need to know that you don't like Jerry, or that you don't like that Marcy's fucking surpassing you in fucking putting down a roof. Like, I don't care. You don't want to work on that roof because Marcy's kicking your ass, or because she's talking too much, or because she's chewing her gum too fucking loud. I'll move you to the other roof. No problem. But you need to get past what it is you really don't like about her. Because I can tell you, people will get triggered by someone on how they chew gum because someone chewed gum that way and fucked them up a little bit, like mentally. There's a lot of psychological warfare going on. So again, hard hats, hard truth. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about people, division of the sexes, why it doesn't need to happen, how we're all built different, how we all bring something to the table, and how we just need to pay attention that we're not saying that men are not valid in some of their concerns or complaints. Women are not, invalid in their concerns or complaints. Everybody has a reason why they think that way. It's not about saying you're right or wrong. It's helping shift the perspective and looking at it from a different light. So that's our episode for today. I hope you guys, learned something new, maybe swore a little bit. I don't know. Turned it off after I started talking about female anatomy. Anyways, you guys take care. We're going to be back for another episode next Thursday on Hard Hats and Hard Truth with Devil's Advocate Trades Edition. As always, have a wonderful day and catch you guys on the flip side.